He was just a boy, the son of a woman who spent her life scrubbing floors and cleaning rooms no one else wanted to touch. To many, he was invisible, just another child of poverty, another face society looked past. But one day, inside the golden halls of an Arab billionaire's palace, everything changed. The boy was mocked, humiliated for where he came from. But what they didn't know was that he carried a gift powerful enough to silence even the wealthiest man in the room. What happened next would leave everyone stunned, and it's a lesson the world desperately needs to hear. For most people, childhood is filled with play, laughter, and dreams of what they want to become. But for Jamal, life was different. His mother worked as a cleaning lady in one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in the city, scrubbing marble floors and dusting chandeliers she could never afford to own. Jamal often waited quietly in the corner while she worked, his small hands clutching old books borrowed from second-hand shops. Despite the poverty around him, he carried a quiet brilliance. Words fascinated him. Languages became his escape: French, Spanish, Arabic, Mandarin, each one unlocking a new world far beyond the cramped room he and his mother called home. Few noticed this gift, and even fewer cared. To many, Jamal was just the son of a black cleaning lady, destined for nothing more than struggle. But fate had other plans. One afternoon, his mother was called to clean the lavish mansion of a powerful Arab billionaire. Golden gates, luxury cars, and halls lined with priceless art. This was a world Jamal had only read about in his books. As he stood silently in the background carrying his mother's cleaning supplies, he could already feel the stares of judgment, the whispers, the smirks. They saw him as nothing more than the help's child, a nobody. What no one realized was that this boy, looked down upon for his skin and his poverty, was about to reveal a gift so extraordinary it would shake the arrogance of wealth and privilege to its core. The laughter had stopped. The whispers had turned to gasps. But just as Jamal's brilliance silenced the room, the billionaire's face twisted, not with awe, but with anger. He could not bear to be humbled by a child he had deemed worthless. "Enough!" the man barked, his voice booming through the marble halls. "Who gave you the right to speak to me like that?" Jamal's heart raced, but he didn't step back. Around him, the air was thick with tension. The guests shifted uneasily, unsure whether to intervene or to join in the ridicule. For a moment, it felt like the entire room held its breath. Then the billionaire leaned closer, his tone sharp, almost threatening. "You think your words mean anything here? You are nothing." The insult cut deep, sharper than any physical blow. Jamal felt the sting of years of prejudice, of being dismissed because of the color of his skin and the status of his family. He felt the weight of every sneer, every whispered less than he had endured. Anger surged, but so did something stronger: clarity. This was the moment that would define him. This was the moment he could either shrink into the shadow of someone else's cruelty or rise above it. Jamal took a slow breath, steadying himself. Then, in a voice calm yet unstoppable, he spoke, naming the inequalities, the ignorance, and the arrogance that had blinded the wealthy all his life. He recited the history, the science, the poetry he had learned in the dim light of his tiny home. Each word landed like a hammer, breaking through the fortress of entitlement around the billionaire. The man's face paled. He realized too late that power was not in wealth or fear. It was in knowledge, courage, and the truth that could not be silenced. And then, with one final piercing question, Jamal left them all frozen. "Tell me, when will you learn that your money does not make you better than anyone else?" Silence. Complete, suffocating silence. The room seemed to shrink, the chandeliers flickered, and even the air felt different, as if the world itself had paused to witness a boy defy the very system built to keep him invisible. And in that pause, everyone knew nothing would ever be the same again. Jamal walked out of the billionaire's mansion that day, not as the boy who had arrived carrying cleaning supplies, but as someone who had shattered every expectation placed upon him. The guests, the billionaire, even the staff, They would never forget the boy who dared to speak truth to power. For Jamal, it wasn't about revenge or proving them wrong. It was about being seen, about claiming the respect and dignity that had always been his by right. The humiliation he had endured was replaced by a quiet triumph, a sense of purpose that no amount of wealth or prejudice could ever take away. The billionaire, meanwhile, sat in stunned silence, forced to confront the arrogance and ignorance he had long cloaked in privilege. That day, he learned that true power was not in money, in influence, or in the ability to belittle others. It was in courage, knowledge, and the moral strength to recognize the humanity in every person. And the story didn't end there. Word of Jamal's courage spread through the community. He became a symbol, a reminder that brilliance can be found in the most overlooked places, that a single act of courage can ripple far beyond a single room or moment. But the truth was sobering. For every Jamal, there are countless others still unseen, unheard, dismissed because of the color of their skin or the weight of their circumstances. This isn't just one story. It is the story of systemic injustice, repeated over and over, across generations, across cities, across nations. Jamal's victory was a spark, a reminder that change is possible, that voices long silenced can rise, and that the walls of prejudice can and must be challenged. And as we reflect on his journey, the question remains, how many more Jamals are out there waiting for someone to see them, to believe in them, to give them the chance they deserve? The story leaves us with a challenge and a choice. Will we be bystanders, or will we be the ones who listen, learn, and act? Because every voice matters, every life matters, and every moment counts.